Hey guys, I'm Nathan and this is my YouTube channel called I Have a Problem, and today I want to talk about lighting. So at the moment I've waited till the sun went down and I'm filming inside with just house lights on. This is probably what most people are going to be doing when they're starting off in making videos inside the house, like YouTube videos. I have a GH5 and I got it completely on auto. It's not a great idea, but a lot of people I know will be using auto in the beginning. And cameras don't autofocus that well when you don't have that much lighting. So I don't know if it's jumping backwards or forwards. It could be staying on me. That's unlikely. But yeah, I'll have a look when I finish this video. So the first lighting kit I ever got was actually these Amaran lights. It's called the AL-M9. These are great. These are actually not cheap though. They're a little bit costly, but these were like my workhorse. This little tiny light, and it would make all the difference when I was filming. I was doing all event filming, and they'd run until like 10 o'clock at night, so I needed some light, and this did everything I need. Just to bump up that light that little bit extra to make the footage a little bit clearer and nicer. And when you are outside and you are filming an event, and the footage is a little bit grainy, it's a bit acceptable. It is nighttime, so you can expect that. It makes it look more like nighttime as well. But these little lights are great, and they last me the whole time. I've never had them go flat when I'm doing a job, and they've been awesome. But I want to talk about going really cheap. So I got this kit. I ordered it off eBay. It was 2 light stands, 2 light fittings with an umbrella holder, and it came with 4 umbrellas, 2 they were like white umbrellas for diffusing light, and 2 reflector umbrellas. And then it also came with two of these light bulbs, which I immediately did not use because these flicker so bad. They're like produce a whole bunch of lights. You would probably need about 4 of them together to just fill in the flickering that one of them will make. And that's a pretty interesting thing about another reason why you probably want to have lighting is because you will get flickering with your house lights depending on how you're filming, especially if you're using like 60 frames a second in Australia. You want to use 50 frames a second, and the reason why that is with bulbs like this, they run off the power, and the power in Australia runs at 60 hertz. Is that right? I think, yeah, it's 60 hertz. So 1/60th of a second, the power is going backwards and forwards, turning off and on, or turning a bulb off and on. So it's only on for 1/60th of a second. And if you film at 60 frames a second, or 60 frames a second, in those shutters, the light's going to be off or half off, and you'll get banding, terrible banding, yellow bars moving down, or just straight up flickering. And that is something really difficult to remove in post. I've had that happen to me, and it's like an absolute nightmare. So if you're in Australia, film at 50 frames per second if you're doing the option of slowing things down in post. LED lighting, I would always check it as well. And the best thing to do is with your phone, put it on 60 frames per second, or put it on slow motion, 120 frames per second, and film and check the light and then see how much it's flickering. If it's just flickering a slight little bit, it's going to be perfect. So I'll show you the light bulb that I chose to replace this, and I'll show you the holder, the light holder and stuff that I got for it's like $30 off eBay. I got all that stuff for $30, and I'll show you what one of those things are, because our one's elsewhere. Alright, I'm back. So this is the light bulb I end up choosing. It's this one here. It's by Philips. It's a 27 watt, 3000 lumen light bulb. In Australia, we had a shop called Bunnings. I went in there. I tested every single light bulb. I used a light meter app to test actually was it that lumens, and also the Kelvin of the bulb to make sure that it was what it was saying it was on the box. Because yeah, a lot of them they weren't. They were like way off. and a lot of them were quite flickery. So I pulled one of these apart. It just has like an LED panel inside of here, and I thought I'd be able to modify this, but that was not going to happen. This whole back part is actually all metal, so it's very difficult to cut open to get the chip from out of here. All right, so the kit came with 2 of these holders, and you can stick an umbrella into here, and you can stick a reflector or a diffuser. And I did try and use this for a shoot, but I found the footage was not very flattering. It was very, very flat. It came with 2 of these light stands. These are very, very cheap light stands. I wouldn't stick a heavy light on it. So this just goes on top and screws on. It's okay. It's pretty good when you're first starting out. But yeah, it's a pretty flat sort of image. And what I've done was I was thinking like, oh, I still want to use this and I want to make it a bit better. So I'll show you this. So I got one of these for it, and it's this here I can use all different soft boxes on. I also have this here, a reflector with a barn doors, and then with that, sorry, it came with gels and a grid, and this grid does make a massive difference to the light. It makes it a little bit more not flat, a little bit more dramatic, and these bunch of colors gels that came with it. So I actually used this system with the reflector and the barn doors back here. But what I'm going to do, and I have a much bigger light that I bought with a softbox that I normally have right next to me. But I'm going to show what this would look like with a softbox with a grid on it. I'll show you the softbox. All right, this thing is pretty big. So this one is very inexpensive and it is great, but just don't think you can pack it up and put it together all the time, because this thing is very, very hard to put together, to bend these bars that are inside. So I just keep it together. I keep it in a cupboard, and yeah, it is a massive thing, but this thing is great. And so I'm going to put this light bulb, as you can see, into here. You have to put it in through the inside and then thread it onto here. And I'll show you what that looks like. Okay, so I've stopped it down just a little bit, just to make it less overexposed. Okay, this is a pretty good solution. I better go grab it and show you. I purchased this. This was the next thing that I purchased after purchasing this setup that I made up. It's a Godox SL60W, and this is probably one of the most reviewed cheap lights that you can get that are semi-professional. And one thing that everyone says about this light, like a negative thing, the only negative thing is that it's noisy, and it's not noisy at all. This thing is perfect. It's great. Like, it is super bright. Like this light here, it's 30 watts, and this is way brighter. I normally have this set down to the level that this light's at. So this thing is just perfect. And when you have it set down that low, the fan's barely on, and it doesn't make any noise. It's not going to really get into your audio, especially if you're using a lav. And if you are using very expensive mics and got them set up everywhere, why are you buying this? You'll have like a much more expensive light, so that doesn't even make any sense. So I highly recommend this Godox light. It is great, but because I normally have that set up here, and I normally use this with the barn doors and a blue gel in here to light this up, because this is now very dark. And so normally to make this light up, I normally put a light in there. But what I'm going to do is actually put this in there. And all that this is just, well, you can see what it is. It's just a desk lamp, and it has one of these smart bulbs in here. So I can say, hey Google, turn the desk light on. Hey Google, turn the desk light on.
It looks like the light isn't available right now.
Oh, that's not right. Hey Google, turn the desk light on.
It looks like the light isn't available.
Oh, you know why? Hey Google, turn the desk lamp on.
Okay, turning on the desk lamp.
All right, it's on. So, hey Google, make the desk lamp blue.
Okay, changing the desk lamp to blue.
So it's blue now. So I'll just stick it in there, and I'll show you guys what that looks like. I got the desk lamp in there. I got that blue. I have the Philips light bulb on the inside the softbox, and this is doable. This is very doable. This is extremely cheap. I have full control over the light. I just only have one light source, but that's not too bad with a massive softbox. And I got the grid on there, so that gives a bit of a shadow. Without that, it's very, very flat image, and that's what I was getting when I was using the umbrellas. Umbrellas are okay, but it's just like having lots of light everywhere with no direction. It's okay. I was finding a better result using a silver reflector. And lastly, I want to show back to these little guys. I've just used the diffuser that comes with it that's magnetic, and I've stuck it on the gel. And you could definitely use these to I've stuck both of them there. It's a bit overkill, but you could definitely use these. They're strong. I've dropped them millions of times. People laughed at me, but yeah. So you could definitely use this to make a bit of a color accent behind you, or whatever you needed. These lights are great. Every time I use these on a job with a photographer, I see that photographer again, and they have those lights. I should get sponsored by them. I probably won't. This is a very cheap setup. Probably the very cheapest. I'll put descriptions down below. I try and find the links. I don't think I'm going to find a link for the 2 tripods and the holders with the umbrellas for $30. That was just incredible. I went in the shop to buy, not a tripod, light stand. I went in there and they had that same light stand for, it was like $100. So to get everything I got for $30, I was so happy, and I thought that's a good start. I got it, and then I sort of realized straight away, I do have to step up that little bit more. But just getting the softbox, and that was pretty cheap. That's made a massive difference. It's a bit of a pain to lug around, but totally worth it. You definitely get like that next level of a more professional look. All right, thanks for watching. I've just started, so it'd be great if you guys can subscribe to my channel. I'll be trying to make more videos like this. I'll talk about all sort of the cheaper things that I have, because that's something I struggled with. I never found anyone using that converter or that holder. Normally it's used for speed boosters, and you put your speed booster in there, and then you can use all these soft boxes or like industry standard lighting adapters like this. So there was just no reviews on it. So this is the first review on that. And just like even using these sorts of lights, I wouldn't use fluorescent lights. Don't bother. If you do use them, you have to have like at least 4. And the reason why that is because you'd hope that when one is flickering on, the other one's off. And when that one's off, another one's on, reducing the flickering, reducing the banding in your image. But this is silly. Yeah, go to your hardware shop, get a LED floodlight, check it, check this, check with your phone, make sure it's not flickering. Put it on the frame rate that you film with. Stick it on the frame rate that normally causes flickering. Just have a look at it, and if it's not flickering, that's perfect. You're gonna have a really good light. That's about it. I'm not going to talk about this. And comparing it, this is great. Like if you are tossing up to get this Godox SLW, just get it. You will not be disappointed. It's awesome. All right, cool. See you guys.